Welcome back to another episode of Find the Line, presented by Against the Grain Design and Print, where we dive into real stories with real racers, the successes, the hardships, and everything in between, with your co-hosts Logan Cipala and Joe Falde. Produced by Luke Cipala, it all starts right here, right now, on Find the Line.
And we can do anything. Mama said it's true, and I put that on everything. Mama told me one day I'ma blow up big and I'ma be a king. And my papa told me it's okay to sit where shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, cause they'll get you through this so-called life they call living.
Woo! Welcome back, race fans. It's race season. Tonight we find out where the machine is racing this weekend. And well, guess they don't get much bigger than this week. So big, he has decided to pull weeds with one hand and pistol whip me with stock-based theory in the other. You guessed it. This is the show we spread the love and debate. Extensions or stock wheelbase? With the man that created Motoclimb Super Series, USA Motoclimb, and he's the one that dumped the 5 gallons of diesel on that little fire that turned into an inferno that we know of, American Hard Enduro. Ladies and gentlemen, the one, the only, from Livermore, California, Matt Musgrove. Matt, how's she going?
What's up, boys? Thank you very much for having me on. It's really nice out here in California. Unfortunately, we don't have as much rain as we're hoping for, but it's beautiful spring weather right now. And you're right, I'm pulling weeds. So.
That's
multitasking.
That's I'd say a bit ballsy where you live, because you're snake country. Like I want both appendages to defend myself, and I want eyes focused on anything slithering, right?
Oh, for sure. Bree found a like a 5 or 6 foot gopher snake that got ran over right in front of the house, and then last week, and then we're going to be cutting grass at Carnegie this weekend, and I'm telling everyone
God.
wear boots and pants because the Carnegie's been seeing a lot of rattlers out there.
Oh gosh, yeah, no thanks. I hate that. I hate snakes. I don't like doing it. I don't like being a part of it. But they're the places where we go. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's a part of the game.
Oh yeah. So awesome. Thank you so much, Matt. You're so busy. Just came back from Grinding Stone, and oh my gosh, like we were talking in the green room, the hard enduro there. You know, in our sport, in Hillclimb, sometimes it's so hard to photograph how steep something is. You guys don't have that problem at Grinding Stone, do you?
No, not at all. The videos do it justice, but it's still not as much as extreme as it is like on video. The video is very dramatic and it shows in the photos, but when you're standing on those cliffs and looking down and up, what they're going up and down, it's absolutely mind-blowing. I stood on top of one downhill about 100 foot, probably 70-degree angle, and I looked back at the guys I was working with. I was like, I would never choose to ride my dirt bike down this, but you know, if I had to, maybe I could. But and they're just running laps on it like nothing. It's pretty incredible, and the talent that those guys have and gals is just unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, have you ever rode on any rock like that before, where they're just driving up and down sand? Is that sandstone, Matt? Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's sandstone.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, but I don't think I have anything quite like that. Not that big, at least. I've done smaller sections of it, but no.
It blows my mind, and I'm just so foreign to the whole gummy world and the moose combos and all that stuff. But it's wild to me how much traction they get off of it. I mean, they're stopping midway on those crazy grades and just taking off again. It's crazy, the traction in it.
It's either all the traction in the world or no traction at all. Because once there's sand, the sandstone at first is really gummy, but once it starts breaking down, it gets all the loose sand on it, and it becomes ice. So that's where the momentum and approach angles, all these things go into play. And you know, our very own Jay Jelinek raced it this weekend, and I got to see him a couple times, and he got worked. With all due respect.
Got his money's worth.
He got his money's worth, and more with the parts, I think, that he needed to replace. So
yeah.
Well, that's all I could think of is when things go wrong, you're on a solid rock. I mean, it's just, I mean, luckily it didn't look like it was jagged, but ouch, like that's got to leave a dent, you know?
It leaves a dent or it just leaves open flesh wounds because you're just dragging
Ooh.
your limbs down it. So
Oh, man.
I see plenty of videos of guys just going for rides down an 80-foot slide, you know.
Whew, wow. We don't need to go long distance on it, but about how many riders do you think were there, Matt, representing?
We actually had a record turnout.
Wow.
Jim Flynn of the Rockstars MC, the promoter there, his son James Flynn is a top five nationally ranked rider. He puts on the race, and last year there was only like 14 C riders, and there wasn't many amateurs showing up because they're so scared. It's a very intimidating place to race. So
Yeah.
this year we took notes after last year. He created an extra race that was designated for the amateurs, and then he saw an 80 entry increase in ridership with
Wow.
a total of 303 entries. So he had 4 times the amount of C riders this year, and a huge spike in amateur entries, which is monumental and a really good sign for the sport.
That's awesome. No, that's great. And what I've noticed is there's a lot of classes. Like there's kind of, it seems like there's kind of a class for everybody in that in hard enduro, isn't there?
Yeah, we have I think now 22 classes.
Okay.
We added a few more this year. We do that to keep each class competitive and each group of rider competitive, but also we're starting to split courses based on their class level. So we're, at a couple of our races this year, we're going to have a C course separated from a B course, and then the B course
Okay.
separated from the A course, and the A course separated from the pro course. So we could really fine tune their skill level, and it makes it safer and more competitive.
Right. Right.
And I think Logan, this year, if you do come back, we can put you in A if you want to be in A class. I don't think we have to force you to go to pro because we're trying to get the AMA's working on a class hopping situation with our series since we're so different than the other off-road
Yeah,
disciplines.
I think that's good. Most of them aren't too bad, but that Hawaii one damaged me.
You're not alone.
Well, it feels like there should be something where it's the rider's option too, because like it's so different, and it'd be different if you had years of experience. But for Logan just to jump in right to the pro, it's like let him win an A class one event or
Yeah,
something. You
yeah.
know, like because you don't know where you're gonna fall. I mean, if you're a flat track guy or trials or a Harescramble or a GNCC guy, and then you come to hard enduro, you might be pro level in your discipline, but it feels like a lot to ask just if you for people to jump in and go right in with the big dogs, but
Mhm.
Yeah, for sure. That's what we're working on. The AMA has been working with us, trying to allow people to class hop one level. So
nice.
it's a work in progress. The sport's still new, and we're still changing rules and adapting things and
Cool.
trying to find the middle ground. And it's almost harder to build a C course for a hard enduro course for C riders than it is A's or pros. So things are just changing all the time.
The one that's
And
going to
you
be,
also don't want people abusing it
yeah,
for class hopping.
Yeah,
So it's a
exactly.
little bit
That's
tricky.
we have to keep an eye on sandbaggers
Mhm.
and people that take advantage of it.
yeah, that's good. I got to get to the one that's local here. I'm hoping to go to it because I just the thing that always boggles me every time I see the media put out is the whole like I'm a whelp Midwesterner, right? Like I'm the manners whole part of it. Like I watched everybody just sitting there waiting. And then all of a sudden, one guy goes and plows through and even bottlenecks it more. And it's just like, I got to be a part of this, like how it all shakes out. Because it just looks terribly awkward to me. And I want to see how it all shakes out when everybody's just sitting there. And all of a sudden, one Tom comes through and thinks he's just going to rocket through everybody. And it doesn't. It's like, oh, man. I mean, there's got to be some sort of social experiment there and how that operates.
Yeah, the flow of a bottleneck is very interesting because it
Yeah.
depends on what group of people you have, and they could all be helping each other, or no one could be helping each other. So it just kind of depends on the type of class. I mean, if they're all A riders, they probably won't be helping each other. But if they're B and C riders stuck in that bottleneck, you might get a lot of assistance.
Right.
But I really hope you're able to go to that Meadow Valley Hard Enduro.
Yeah.
That should be really cool, and and Champion Brick Racing hailing from Wisconsin. It's
Yeah.
making a huge splash onto the U.S. hard enduro scene. So Wisconsin
Yeah.
is definitely representing in U.S. hard enduro. But yeah, Joel, like Champion Brick, that might be your in.
I just gotta, if nothing else, I'm just gonna go down there loaded with cheese curds and beer because I need a person to person high five with Matt, and I need some Ellsworth cheese curds in that rig at some point in his life. Okay.
You two, oh man, I can't. I want to be in that room when you guys meet up because it's gonna be you two are just very similar on how stoked you are on life, and that guy is simply incredible. He's running his team and everything, and then he's fighting stage 4 cancer, going through treatment, and racing a hard enduro, breaking ribs. It's like, dude, just you're nonstop. It's pretty incredible, and he's an inspirational also.
Wow, amazing.
Love that guy.
Yeah, he's awesome. So awesome. So many stories. All right, we got to get back to why we got you on here though. But first off, got to pay off the tees. Tom, where the frick are we racing in March? What the hell? All of a sudden, I hear that the van's getting loaded up and stuff. Where are you going?
Maybe. We don't know quite yet, so we'll see. But
did I jinx it?
got a somewhat local hill climb in near Omaha, Nebraska, I guess. So
Okay.
So, or Western Iowa, in a town called Logan, oddly enough. So hopefully we'll make it down there. I know there's quite a few, or sounds like there's quite a few local guys going down, and
Nice.
they always do a pretty good job with their events. So it should be, hopefully it works out and we can make it down. Otherwise, we got, like I said, I got a pretty good backup plan if it doesn't.
I like it. You're the one that told me, but what doesn't Iowa do when it comes to racing?
We don't mess around. I know that.
You always said Iowa doesn't disappoint. It's always a win.
Yeah, it does
Everything
not
in Iowa is a win. You always get pumped about Iowa races. I know you. That's awesome.
Is the Gasser going to be at that one?
I haven't heard. I was going to message him and see if what his whole deal was, or if he was going to be around. I'm sure he'll be there. I just don't know if he'll do any riding or racing. He used to be the all-time champ. They get a pot going for the first guy over the hill because it's a pretty gnarly hill. And I have seen him win a lot of money being the first one over the hill down there.
Awesome.
You know, he's such a ranch guy now. If he shows up on a freaking horse and tries to climb a hill with the horse, don't send me that video. All right. I don't want to see the Gasser on no 4 legs going up that hill. All right.
Well, the awkward thing is if he does race it, he's gonna have to write a letter to Braden Henry Billy Goat for that number 3 back.
They're gonna be fighting for it. I think Billy Goat usually goes, so we'll see if he's there.
Ooh.
Someone's gonna have the X. Who's gonna put the X on, right?
Cage match.
And speaking of kids, I just saw that there's going to be a mini Billy Goat on the way.
Oh,
So
yeah. Congratulations. Let's go. Good work, dude. That's awesome. Good times.
Hide your PWs. Hide your GTRs.
No mini bike is safe.
No Stasic is safe.
That's great. Oh, that's great. Congratulations. That's awesome, Billy Goat. Well, cool. Well, I hope it works out. Hope you get down to Logan, Iowa, Tom. That's always a good time. But now let's talk rounds 1. Round 2, Carnegie, just a few weeks away, April 10th and 11th. And the rare Friday, Saturday race combo. That's pretty epic, huh?
Yeah, it's didn't go as planned, and I have to admit that I kind of dropped the ball on that one, but we're gonna make the best of it. I think Friday, Saturday is unique. A lot of people, I know that a lot of Rockwell events used to be Nitro Nationals, and Columbus used to be Friday, Saturday. You know, the events in Utah were Friday, Saturday. So I'm not super against it. I think we're gonna get a bit of a lower turnout on Friday, but I'm trying to work some creative ways to get around that. But ultimately, the backstory behind that is IRC Tires celebrating their 100th year of being in business this year. So
awesome.
they want to pay homage to the M5B Evo at Carnegie, and so we wanted to do some fun stuff at Carnegie, and you know, we kind of decided that let's do a separate day, do maybe some clinics or ride day and some other things like fun stuff. But when the spring progressed and plans kind of fell through a bit, I take responsibility for a part of that just because it didn't go as necessarily I wanted to. We kind of pulled back and said, people want to get on the road on Sunday ultimately. It's going to be hard for us to keep them around unless we have some epic stuff planned, which, like I said, things kind of fell through. So we're back to Friday, Saturday. I couldn't move it to Saturday, Sunday, but Friday, Saturday, racing. Try to get the commuter crowd because that's a big commute road. We're going to try to get the commuters out on Friday to hang out.
Nice.
So we're going to offer a happy hour ticket for the
Nice.
commuters on
Perfect.
Friday.
Yeah.
And on Saturdays, a full day racing. And we're also running the AMA District 36 California Motoclimb Series regional championship classes as well. So we got youth racing both days. We have amateur adults on Friday. And on both days are pro classes. So it'll be a full weekend of racing. We're going to celebrate some IRC, or we're going to have some IRC festivities on Saturday night. But throughout the weekend, we'll be paying, or we'll be celebrating IRC's 100th anniversary. Jerry from IRC Tire, he's coming from Salt Lake City with the big truck, and he's going to be... he's going to have his tire changing Rabicondas out just if someone wants to do tire changes, but they have a cool hospitality area. They do drinks and snacks and give out hats and stickers and stuff. So he's going to be on site. We're going to have a special guest underneath the tent, and we're just going to have an awesome time, So it'll be fun.
Very cool. Very cool. Oh, that's so cool. And dang, 100 years, that's epic. I mean, the only thing that's been going on longer is Hillclimb at the BMC, right? I mean, that's the only person that's got him. That's pretty epic. 100 years. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. And then for people listening that maybe haven't known, but what's cool about the 2-day event, it's some events it's one event spread over 2 days. These are 2 full events. So Friday on the 10th, you're going to see every bike that's came there race. Everybody gets to race every class that day. We're going to have lots of open bikes, 450s, all kinds of stuff. And then the same thing on Saturday, all kinds of bikes. So if you can only make one day, you shouldn't miss hardly anything for excitement. And if there's a certain bike, if you're coming to see Logan Cipala's Buell get freaking wicked there, you're going to see all kinds of it on both days. So that's kind of fun.
Yeah, for sure.
Really fun. This now will be the first weekend class change. So the pro mod class has switched, and dang it, I should have pulled this up. But is it Open Knobby? Is that what we're calling it, or what was the designation, Matt?
Open Knobby, yeah.
Open Knobby, and pretty excited about this. We've talked about it in the past on a few episodes, but thank you for Motoclimb pulling a bunch of riders together this winter. We had a nice little Logan and I were both on there, a bunch of other riders. How many Suzuki's did Austin Tyler bring? I remember we figured that out. Logan, do you remember?
I can't quite remember.
I think it was.
It was somewhere between 1 and 10. I don't know.
I think it was at least a couple.
We found out a lot of stuff. It was a fun, but it was just a great group of guys. It was so cool, and Matt, so proud that to be a part of it, and just to be the fly on the wall, watching some of my heroes discuss these topics. And I think it's pretty cool. I mean, I think that it's going to be pretty neat that you have a class where you're basically saying the tire is what equalizes everybody, right? Man, would I love to have this be the M5B Evo class, and you had to run an M5B Evo, and we had IRC's banners everywhere and just had a class for that where everybody had to run a specific tire. That would be epic. But I love just the fact that it's a tire, because now we're going to see you get to take whatever knife out of the drawer you want, whether it's your 550 or 450, your nitrous single cylinder, your open bike, whatever you want, right? You just got to have a tire on it. I mean, that's pretty freaking epic. I think that's going to be pretty cool.
It's going to be really cool. That's going to be the last class of the day. And I think since the Motoclimb Super Series points are based on, or the overall championship is based on the Pro Stock Verticross, and the Open class, Unlimited, this will be kind of a class that will be a little bit more lighthearted. It'll be fun. It'll be great for spectators that are sticking around. And my favorite part about it is you can switch bikes in between rounds. So let's say you have a tire on your open bike and you hit the hill and you're like, man, that hill is chopped up. it's getting worse. I need to jump on my 450. And you have the opportunity to win that class
Right.
on that second bike if you switch. So I think that's a really fun element that will challenge the riders. There will be some mental games. And I'm just stoked about it because that's something that the sport really hasn't done too much of in the past.
Man, there's just so many good things. The flexibility of it, the class, that's so fun. You nailed it. It's going to be lighthearted. It's going to be fun. People are going to try to outwit each other by their selections, right? But then another part that the riders and the collective talked about, now we have an opportunity where you got a fast moto buddy that wants to come try it out. When Mark Braden sat on an open bike, he's like, this is what I want to do. Mark Braden is a talented son of a gun, right? That is an epic chance to give people like Mark Braden, these ultra talented people on these unique fire breathing dragons, right? Now they're not going to have the full effect because they ain't going to have chains or a bolted paddle or whatever, but still you get the same idea on a tire. It's going to be awesome and give that opportunity to try to absorb in some more talent, right?
For sure. I mean, the sport will never grow if it stays inside a box. And so growing the sport from the inside in, it's been or from the inside in, I guess. Yeah, we have to grow it from the inside out or from the outside in. I don't know what I'm saying, but you know what I'm saying. And
I know what
the
you're saying.
It
outside,
sounded smart. That's the important part.
the sport needs to grow and get outside of the box. And it can't do that if we just stay inside of our box. And so that having an additional bike there that you could switch with or have your buddy ride or something and switch, in between rounds, I think offers a lot of flexibility and helps grow the sport. We've seen, in recent memory, just people borrowing bikes. Logan had Josh Toth. We've had a lot of big names race our bikes in the past years, but this new class structure will allow some extra bikes to be sitting in the pits and potentially be ridden by people. So the hill also for open knobby will most likely be more technical. So it's not necessarily going to be advantageous to an open bike. This is kind of our goal, is to make it a 700 hill and make it a little more technical to see who's the top dog on the top bike. And so, you know how we kind of have seen 450s make it up a hill sometimes faster, or a 450 win a Great American runoff. We'll truly see who the fastest rider is on the fastest bike, without any restrictions. And I truly believe a 450 will win this class multiple times this year,
Yeah, and I think it's pretty fun. Like Logan and I growing up in the Midwest, racing amateurly in District 23 and 16. Logan set fast time on a hill that stood forever at Bay City. What did you have on for a tire on your Buell for that fast time for that 8-second ride, Logan?
I think an MX-11 way back when.
Oh, wow. I still
Old
own an
school.
MX-11. But, there you have your Buell, an MX-11. You set a hill record that had stood for years on a tire. I mean, there's days, combos where that
There
tire.
also were only tires ever competed on that hill.
True. Wow.
Just to blow a hole in your theory, but
I mean,
Yep.
we had a turn and we could run chains, whatever we wanted with several series, and we didn't even come close. I'm just saying, a tire can work pretty freaking good, right? I mean, it needs the right conditions, but
yeah. And the tire also is that's why we were debating putting a length limit on that class. But I think the tire is going to be restricting length anyways. You don't want to go too long. And so you're going to have to find that length. And some guys who have two open bikes, let's say Austin Tyler, or one open bike, let's say Austin Tyler, for example, if we can watch that open bike run a second time with the tire on it, we want to see it run with the tire. There's no way he's going to run that thing at 70 inches.
Right.
But if we could see him run a tire at 76, let's do it.
Right.
That's just
he's got
good
one
for the
open
crowd.
bike and two Suzuki's, I think.
He's got two Suzuki's though. That's
Just one open bike.
Yep, two Suzuki's. Yep, that's right. Came in.
I
won it all.
forgot.
Yeah, I forgot. Thanks for the reminder, Logan.
Yeah. Once I heard
Right.
the numbers break down, it helped.
I think it's gonna be fun, and you know what? Motoclimb Super Series. You guys have never been intimidated by taking chances, right? since this series has started, you have tried things. You keep trying things. You've had Monster Energy involved in your series. You've been to Pogue Soul. Motoclimb Super Series is not scared to try something new. I love that, right? I mean, it's cool. It's something exciting. I mean, I think it's gonna be really fun. We might not see an open bike win all year. They might win every race. We don't know. We're gonna find out. That's what's kind of fun. The not knowing is gonna be fun. I think it's a highlight for me for the weekend just to see how that all shakes out. I think that's gonna be pretty cool.
Me too. And the cool thing about that call we had with everybody is that we really got to focus on the future of the sport. Everybody on that call was thinking 5, 10, 15 years ahead of their current selves right now. And yeah, we have John Wolfsons and Tristan Alexanders that are the young up and coming champs. And, we have the Cipalas and Jakes and Austins and guys like that are kind of the class above them, older. But we had Kason Shipman on the call, who's just entering the pro class. And Kason Shipman, in the current way that the sport is done in the majority of the country, for Kason Shipman to chase a championship, he has to build 3 race bikes. And we have to step back and look at the affordability of the sport and the amount of industry support that the sport gets. And it just doesn't line up. Why are we forcing 16-year-olds to come and drum up 30 to 40 grand worth of race bikes when we'd rather just see them at the races with one custom bike and one of their track bikes, So
but
we kind of have to take a few steps back, I think.
Right. And also there's nothing saying that to start you need all the bikes. I rode the Rockwell series, dipping my toe in it with one bike to see if I liked it.
Exactly.
And it took me, because I'm not a wealthy person. It took me 10 years to build my team, right? But once you got it, you got it. And then it's just upgrade and maintenance from there, So I think that's the other thing is don't feel pressured that you have to just come in with Jared Anderson's Toter Home and their setup. Like they worked up to that too. Everybody works up to it, right? Everybody at one point had one bike in the back of their truck or a rail trailer behind their Civic, right? Like you can start from that, make a little scratch, get a little interest, and go up. But yeah, you're exactly right, Matt. It's to have all of it. It takes a bit,
Yeah, and I guess I want to ask you guys, like, when was the last time you guys have had meetings with the series or series promoters, or when they have riders meetings and such, and they've talked about the affordability of the sport and how can we adjust things to make it more affordable to allow you guys to go to more races?
No other series cares about people going to more races. I'll just put that out there right now. That is painfully obvious.
We haven't hit the caught in our chain sounder yet, Matt, right? I mean, we are still a segment away from there, okay?
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's I think survival's the biggest topic in most series that we talk to, Everybody's worried about surviving and they're trying to figure out how, and I think that, this is racing. That's the core of it. I don't care if you're racing tricycles or if you're a tractor puller. There's always going to be somebody with more money. I mean, that's just racing. It doesn't matter what you're doing. But the cool thing about racing is, especially on anything with a motorcycle, if you have the most talent, you have the best chance of winning no matter what you're riding, basically. I mean, that's been evident throughout my stops that I've made. As I've always seen the most talented people rise to the top, even on substandard equipment. Talent will win, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. And speaking on that, and I don't want this to come off as offensive, but I've used this argument in the past. I know we'll talk about stock bikes eventually, but we still don't know like how competitive this sport can go, because we don't know what the extent of our field of competition goes. Like when we bring in Josh Hill or somebody of that caliber, it raises the level of competition to a new level that is like, that's the new standard where, Cipala and Anstedt are neck and neck, and then now Hill is involved. And it's like, what if there was 3 or 4 more Hills involved? And so we still don't know the limit of it. We know Jet Lawrence is the fastest supercross rider in the world.
Right.
But it's proven. We know Manny Lettenbeckler is the best hard enduro rider in the world. For hill climbing, at the moment, we know who the champs are and who the fastest people at the moment. But this new class structure is really going to open the door to new competition and only make it things more competitive and open it up to more people, hopefully.
Yep. Yeah, no, and it's when motorcycles are a niche sport, when supercross is considered a niche sport, we are 10 niches of a niche in hill climb, right? But you've always said it, Matt, fueled by passion, right? This entire sport has been fueled by passion and people passionate about it. And that's what's kept it around for over
Yeah.
100 years. And that's what's going to keep it around is the passion. And that's where I think that we can't ignore what's kept us around for so long. And we all have to understand that there's a certain ceiling to our sport. You know, like we're most likely never going to be supercross level of acceptance, right? So, and that's
Yeah,
that's
never will. But being on the hard enduro side, I see a lot more clear picture the past 5 years of where Hillclimb Motoclimb is at, and from an industry side, and let's say out of a scale of 100, in the off-road space, GNCC is like the top. I would say hard enduro is 10% of GNCC. And then in hard enduro is pretty big in that case. We have factory riders, a lot of support. I get calls from big sponsors after the last race this weekend wanting to be a part of it.
cool.
And hill climb is like a fraction of hard enduro.
Yeah.
And it's right now I'm stoked to see Northwest Nitro National is getting a title sponsor. That's awesome. And that's great to see companies investing in the sport, but it's a grind to convince anybody that the sport's worth investing into, which is weird because when on social media, I've seen it outnumber anything else. But when it comes to, it's like taboo in the industry, and it comes
It
to
is.
actually supporting, there's bits and pieces they'll support. I mean, Buell will support Logan, Motorsport will support Austin. Like here and there, there's support. But when it comes to a whole, it's really hard to convince these team managers and these OEMs that it's worth investing into.
The hard part too is like with Buell and Motorsport, they're not supporting us because we're hill climbers. Buell was supporting me because I was racing with their engines, and it was a good way for them to get, or a mediocre, somewhat good way for them to get their name out in the racing world again and start advertising.
Bring
before they
legitimacy.
started
Yeah.
yeah. And then with Austin, it's like Motorsport is not sponsoring him because he's a hill climber.
No.
They're sponsoring him because of the unbelievable media that they're getting out of him and what he can do for them in return as well. I mean, he's a great ambassador for the brand, but
Yeah.
and it's the content that he's generated obviously has come from motoclimb and hill climb specifically. But
Yeah, and Peyton with Insta360, he's doing that because he has great social media presence, not because he's a hill climber. And so we're hoping that this new class structure can kind of reset things a bit to where the OEMs and the mainstream brands can see value in investing into the sport and being present and supporting the athletes in the events.
Yeah, and I guess we can talk more about this after the break when we do our spirited, loving debate. But I mean, I think we all have a different thing we want. But I think the one thing that we can still give is a spectacle, right? Like hill climbing's a spectacle. And we just had Josh Mueller on last week, and what did he say the little local race had for spectators, Logan?
a couple thousand, I think.
It's a couple thousand people, and that's with almost no advertising. They've been there for a long time, but it's like if you start getting 3,000 to 5,000 spectators, you have a freaking event. You know, that's an event that people can make a profit from. When you start showing crowds like that to advertisers, beer sponsors, whatnot, they want to be a part of it. That's what we can offer. If we can get that back, if we can get that, just like with music, they don't sell records, they have concerts. If we can get the concert aspect of what we can give, that's where we're going to get our support, is by showing what a freaking epic live show. And that's why I want to talk about Carnegie. Carnegie's freaking awesome. The last few times I get there, the feel, the vibe of Carnegie, it's epic. I mean, you guys have it. With pit row being such a professional setup, having the hill right there, it's such a great viewing area. I mean, I think it's really you guys have had to see spectators grow in the last few years, Matt.
Yeah, we have, and it's been we get a lot of new names and new faces too that are showing up not only to watch but to participate, amateurs, and being part of AMA District 36 is definitely helping with that.
Oh yeah.
But it's cool to see the spectators kind of flow in, and people are excited about it. We have a crew going out to the Good Guys Car Show this weekend to advertise, and we're bringing a few bikes out and be passing out flyers. So Carnegie is one of those things where I would love to put more time into it and resources, and I just, this springtime is just so crazy, and I bang my head against the wall because I really want to do more.
Right.
But we have such a great community out there,
Yeah.
and we kind of obtained a great place with George and Skip Horn, which Skip has passed away this past January, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But they built something amazing, and I
Yeah.
really believe we have a great team that is continuing that legacy, and we're just trying to expand our rider base to where it could definitely be a mainstream sport here in District 36.
Oh hell yeah. So excited. Logan and I are both coming. Can't wait. I'm not excited for the drive, but I'm already thinking about in and out. That's gonna be my motivating factor on the way there. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for you guys to be there.
Do you want to announce the professional rider that we will see at Carnegie? I know it'll come out before this gets released, but would you be willing to talk about it now?
Yeah, so we are excited to welcome Red Bull athlete Cody Webb
Woo!
to the
Yeah,
Golden State National.
that is awesome. How cool is
Mm-hmm.
that? That's epic. Riding his bike. What is he going to be riding? That's what we want to know.
So he brought his 450 down to the grinding stone. I brought it home with me. So
Nice.
he's going to be
Okay.
racing pro stock, and I could see that guy doing some crazy funky stuff if that pro stock hill gets hard. If you ever seen him ride in person, he is just like a bunny rabbit on this thing, and he will jump and bunny hop and move his entire bike over to the right a foot. He just does some incredible stuff on that bike. So I think he will be able to hold his own in the pro stock. And then if the stars align, I have the 850 hopefully ready for him
Ooh,
to
nice.
compete in the open class and the open knobby class. And he will be pitted under the IRC tent since he's an IRC athlete. So
Awesome.
we have a new race motor being built with Josh Hill's motor builder, and
Wow.
for the MT09, and hopefully this thing is gonna do some work, because that bike has always been a little underpowered,
Right.
but we're excited to get some more horsepower in it and throw Cody on it. So
Oh,
if
fun.
everything lines up, we can do a motor swap the night before the race again. I think we'll be in good shape.
Cool. When you were talking with him, had he ever seen an open bike before?
He's seen him before. Oddly enough, he grew up about only an hour away from Carnegie and never actually has ridden there. So this will be the first time he's going to be riding Carnegie. And I think he wasn't at the Billings race in 2022. He's had to have seen him in the past, but
He was there. He just didn't race, right? I swear I saw him
he
there.
might have been there. Yeah, he might have been there. But he's just such a freak on a bike. So I'm
Right.
pretty
Yeah,
excited
he's impressive.
to welcome him, and he's Yamaha off-road official rider, so that's a pretty big deal for our sport to
Hell
have
yeah.
a Red Bull athlete with also a official Yamaha supported rider.
That's awesome. That's
Mhm.
cool. And he's going to get there and get a nice chance at a really good purse from the Motoclimb Super Series. So that'll be exciting. And man, how fun that's going to get fans there too to come watch that. That's going to be epic. But I hope you get the 850 going. I hope you get that new motor in it. And man, it's so fun watching talented guys get on those open bikes and just see how they work them.
Well, that and this, I've seen this guy almost pass out after a 6-hour race at Tough Like Roar, and he won 12 grand at that race. Like, that was pretty impressive. But
Right.
if he gets to ride 3-4 minutes and goes home with a few grand, I think he's gonna be fine. And maybe find his retirement program.
There we
So
go. Yeah.
this could be a new athlete that we got on our horizon, and he has a big social media presence, a big vlog on YouTube, and he's just such a great character, fun to be around, and I think this community will fit him just right. So
Cool. Cool. You've said it before in the past, Logan. Oh, Ryan Sipes, Josh Hill, Justin Hill, these riders that are so talented that come in, they all have fun. They all, when you talk to them, they're having fun. They enjoy it. It's kind of awesome knowing that now that this isn't the first super talented rider that we have to come in. And let's just hope he has fun and it's something that he thinks highly of, and maybe he could make a little money and come back and want to do more, right?
yeah, let's hope so. And pretty stoked on it. And I think the communities of Hardendor and Motoclimb are very similar as far as people are very humble. They're very they'll take the shirt off their back to help the next guy, and the sport is truly man versus mountain. So on both sports, and so I think this will line up very well with what he does, and I think he might take to it just great.
Awesome. So here, April 10th and 11th, rounds 1 and 2, Motoclimb Super Series in Carnegie. Matt, can we just take a few minutes and talk about the other rounds of Motoclimb Super Series? The Brick Mine, it's a staple, right? I mean, it's every year the legend of the Brick Mine grows. The Eagle Ridge Motorcycle Club, we had Arnie Jelnik on earlier this year, along with yourself, just a family, a group of people that absolutely love Hillclimb, and we've seen them bring munitions to improve the experience. They had freaking salutes to celebrate fast time. They will go to any length to make the race better. How awesome is it just to have the Brick Mine as a staple for the Motoclimb Super Series as a promoter?
I will say this, that the reason I'm still doing this today, and it's not like it's a huge lucrative thing or anything. It's a huge time expense and a huge financial burden, and there's a lot of work involved, but
Right.
I work with the best people.
Mm-hmm.
I work with the Valley Springs Motorcycle Club, Mike Bronk, you two, and Joel's a half member.
I'm not really
but
a member at all. No, I don't. I just
and
move
then
rocks.
we get to work with the Eagle Ridge Motorcycle Club. The Jelinek family and all them are just incredible people.
Yeah.
And then the people at the BMC, it's like the BMC can't top that when it comes to the sport's legacy. So we work with the absolute best people, fully honest, transparent, just good, loving, humble people that want to make this sport better for the best reasons. And that's why I'm still do this today. And so the Jelineks, Jay and I are great friends, and I love hanging out with them, and their event is top notch. Every person who goes for the first time is like, they want to go back. And on top of that, they had Fordville the day after, which is such a fun event.
Right.
And if you have kids that are going, it's a very family friendly event because they have kids classes. And so definitely a doubleheader weekend. We were considering bringing the Fordville race into the Motoclimb Super Series fray, but we wanted to keep its identity as Fordville, and we didn't want to, taint it with any AMA or Super Series, legitimacy. And I don't want to say it's an illegitimate event. It's a very legitimate event, but it's just a fun event that you have to experience if you haven't been there before, Fordville. But Brick Mine, best hill in the country, in my opinion. The best club, best people. I think they're very progressive, and they're the only ones, like you said, to either get pyrotechnics or put a mega ramp on top of the hill to add to the show.
So just to add to that, Laura, you talk about Fordville, and Logan timestamped this 44:17. I'm speculating here, and I've got some backdoor information on Fordville. And I mean, I can't even believe that these words are going to fall out of my mouth right now, but I heard through the grapevine that they have given Aaron Pearson permission to run steel paddles left side of Fordville. I mean, oh my, is that going to be a spectacle? If that is true, which I don't know if it is, and we get to see Super Arthur, Aaron Pearson, the 99, coming down full of all hopped up on maple syrup and whatever Molson or whatever it is they drink with steel paddles. We will see a show. He will not leave a fan disappointed. That is going to be awesome. Have you ever seen steel paddles before, Tom?
Not on a hill, just pictures and maybe on a wheel, but no, not in use.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I think it's going to be epic. That left side at Fordville's, that's its own identity. That thing is so epic. That hill's so awesome. I can't wait. But
That hill on the left is its own beast. I mean, it's like the main hill is hard because it's a real hard timing hill. You get split second to make a decision, and you have to really hit your marks. But that left hill, you either make it or you don't. It's kind of a savage little hill, and
it's good.
You get respect if you win that thing. Like that's like a hill that to win is bragging rights.
Yeah, that's how it felt the first time I won it. It was like, dang, that was pretty dang cool. It felt awesome. And it's one of those hills where you might make it over in 1.9 seconds, or it's going to be the most miserable 5 seconds of your life to crawl and fight and scream and kick your way over. Or you're like Jay and hit a hole so hard you move half the mountain, or you can feel it from across the river. We've all been in each portion of that, but that's usually about the only 3 outcomes that there are.
The other thing that's special about Fordville, my family, my wife, my kids, like, we gotta come back. They loved it. It's beautiful there. It's so
too
fun.
bad somebody couldn't tell you, like, for the last 10 years that you should just go.
I'd only have 2 collarbones. I was too nervous about the top, Tom. I mean, I had to get.
There's a pile of them still at the top. So
I got away with it last year. We'll see about this year. But now I'm coming. Now that I'm in semi-retirement, I can chance it.
You could give up a collarbone to the top, top of the hill.
Yeah.
It's a donation. It's like you have to be a part of Fordville completely. You just gotta part with that.
I would have bet a house payment that there was going to be a French collarbone at the top of that when I showed up there, and I'm so glad that there isn't.
No, that speaking on that left side, I can't wait to see if Aaron brings his paddle set up there. But if you think about it, that left side of the hill is kind of like the perfect embodiment of the sport. It's super rough, super technical, and it's you throw all the horsepower in the world at it. And you get to just see it in the little span. And so it's like almost one of the most exciting hills of the year because it's not like a fast hill, like an East Coast fast hill, like a White Rose or something, which is still really exciting and technical. But this is like a short little throw the horsepower, throw the chains at it, and see who can. It's like a minefield. See who can get through the minefield the best.
There's not many. What is that, Logan? 180 feet, that hill?
Yep.
There's not many 180-foot hills that I can't physically walk up. Like, you can't walk up that left side. You have to walk around the actual racing surface to get over it. That's how gnarly it is. And there was a half a dozen summits there last year. It was epic. It was so cool. I just love that. I just love that motorcycles can do that. I can't believe they can, but they do. It's awesome.
You don't get over or win that hill by luck. That's a pure skill and equipment hill for sure.
Awesome. Thank you, Eagle Ridge. Thank you, Fordville. Everybody involved.
Also, best purse of the year too. One of the best purses of the year.
Oh, it's like amazing. Yes.
Yeah. If you're skipping out on this one, you might as well just not like getting money. If you're
what do you think? What do you think, Matt, about them moving dates, getting off the holiday? That's gonna help, don't you think?
I'm excited for it. It's something they haven't really done yet, so I think it's only going to help, and pretty confident that it'll be a boost in ridership and spectators. So holiday weekends are always tough.
For me, when you're 10 hours, the easiest 10-hour drive in the world from Billings, Montana, where they get 100 and what is it that they have last year, Logan? 130 450s or something like that, the Great American. You get 130 people that want to pay $100 a lick in the 450 class, where if the Billings Motorcycle Club had $100 million in their bank, they would pay $104 million to move the Brick Mine Hill where the Great American Hill is. I mean, that's what they want. They want that hill, but they can't do it. And there's all these people in Billings that love hill climbing, love natural hills, love everything about it. And it's right there in North Dakota. And it's the most epic weekend. And I hope that this gets more of those people there because they deserve it. Like that club deserves to be bursting with entries and money, right? It'd be awesome.
Big time. Yeah, it's an easy 10-hour drive. If you're French in a minivan at 2 a.m., it's probably a 6-hour drive. But I think you drop into that river valley, and it's one of the most beautiful places in the country, hands down. And after a hard day of riding, you get to go jump in the river. It's a really special place, and I really hope people can put that on their calendars. And also, like, the Jelinek, best people, great
Absolutely.
family. They put so much. They're riding, announcing, putting on the race, cleaning up, scoring, filming.
Yeah.
And so they're just very talented, hardworking people.
Yeah, we could just go on and on about everything they do. I can't say enough. But one more topic before we break, Matt. You got Motoclimb Super Series going back to Billings, going to the BMC again. This is freaking awesome. What a great fit for the series. This makes it a great series with Carnegie, Brickmine, and now BMC. How excited are you to be back?
Super excited. I was really bummed that we missed out on the BMC for a little gap there. And that's, I mean, I don't need to say anything about it. If you have an event at the BMC, it's legitimate. So the BMC is the best motorcycle venue in the world that I've seen with my own two eyes that I've been to. The club there is historic, and it's just a real honor to be able to host our final round there. Big shout out to Austin Tyler, who pushed this, Tristan Alexander, who stepped up to be the promoter, and Don Earhart, who is, believes in us to kind of keep this train rolling and bring some extra promotion to the event. We're also, Sean Whitcomb pushed this event too, because we're hosting IRC Enduro Fest there. This is September 19th. So he's going to have an Enduro Cross that weekend. So I would imagine Cody Webb would probably be back to that one, because they're going to be training for their national Enduro Cross season. So Sean hosting one-off Enduro Cross, I could see Colton Haker maybe showing up, Tristan Hart maybe showing up. No guarantees. Like this is just kind of all speculation, but he's throwing a $10,000 purse. These guys all go to the other Enduro Crosses that are kind of like in fairgrounds and such just to train for the national season. So I'm going to encourage those guys to race pro stock, and we can have a lot of fun that weekend in Billings.
Do you know, have they talked about what part of the grounds we'll be racing on? Is this going to be
South Hills?
South Hills. So we're talking over by where the Big Sky in that neighborhood.
Yeah.
And are they talking about daytime running only? Are they talking about running in the night at all? Have there been any talks on that?
Daytime, because I think Sean's going to run an Enduro Cross at night. So I think we're going to run during the day and knock things out, and then and the rest of the weekend will be kind of dedicated to the Enduro Cross.
Cool.
So.
And I asked that because the hills to the far left get pretty freaking fun on those South Hills, and they don't have lights over there. So those hills might be the option. So that'll be pretty sick. I mean, they have some good options over there. So that's gonna be fun. And that is on a Saturday, September 19th. So that's epic for us because that just saves a day of PTO. So that's gonna be freaking sick.
Yeah, no, that's going to be an awesome one. And then Tristan Alexander is going to be promoting his first event here. And he's the reigning Motoclimb Super Series champ and stepping up to host the final round. I think that's awesome that racers are able to do that. And I mean, in my opinion, the best promoters are racers. Right. And so, they have the different eye of things. And if he's able to balance the racing side with the promotion side, I'm pretty excited to see the outcome.
That's awesome. Such a great series. So excited. I'm racing the whole series this year. Can't wait to be there full-fledged. Gonna be doing that in Rockwell. It's gonna be awesome. Let's take a break, boys. But after the break, we got to talk a little bit USA Motoclimb. Got to hit some highlights there. Maybe Matt can give the full announcement, or I can, or whatever, on the team. It's pretty awesome. We've had some talks. And then we're gonna have our debate. Matt's going to represent the why we have to have extensions, and I'm going to represent why I say they don't come with them. We don't need them. Right. So we're going to have a little loving back and forth, and we're not going to try to change each other's minds. We're just going to try to talk about opinions that people have. Right.
For sure.
I hope you still love me after this, Matt. That's what I hope. So.
I love the reason. Yeah, no, the only reason I'm in this is because of love, because I love all you guys.
All right. Well, hey, Matt, maybe stay away from the really valuable flowers on the next segment. I don't want you missing up and pulling a fancy flower out instead of a weed. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go take a break now, and I'll see you guys inside. Get my phone charged.
Let's hear from ATG Design. Take a little break. We'll be right back.
Against the Grain Design and Print is proud to announce its partnership with Find the Line. Against the Grain works with clients to build their business and racing goals through the design and production of premium stickers and decals. We offer one-of-a-kind subscriptions for a flat monthly fee that can save you hundreds of dollars. Custom mailers, white label printing, motocross graphics, and anything else you can think of, we have you covered. It's time to print your passion. Visit atgdesign.co or email sales@atgdesign.co.
Hey there, Find the Line listeners. We will always be looking for partnerships for Find the Line. Please email findthelinepod@gmail.com to see how we can work together to grow your brand. Once again, that's findthelinepod@gmail.com. Now, let's get back to it.
Woo! Oh, yeah. ATG Design, man. Luke just got me so kitted up. I got all my stuff sitting here. All my speed bikes down at Mueller Motorsports getting tuned up. The Frenchies ran them ragged, so everything's getting fresh. We're all getting freshened up. But, man, Luke does all the details. When I got all my kits for all my bikes, just tons of mini plates. But this is what I love. Luke sends his ATG stickers. I got them on my coffee cups. This one, don't quit your daydream. Yes, Luke. Hell yeah, ATG Design. Don't quit your freaking daydream. When I'm sitting there on my knees having a drink of coffee, I look over at that. Love it. This one here. Dream, act, fail, repeat. ATG Design. Let's freaking go. Luke he just got it. I mean, Luke's got everything. I love it. But man, the stickers last forever. I love having all my coffee cups kitted up. Our freaking work vans got them all over. It's awesome. So not only is it moto kits, but ATG Design, what he did is, I don't know about you guys, but construction people, we have 5 Mercedes work vans full of Milwaukee tools, right? You know what a battle it is for whose batteries what? Luke made separate logos for every employee. So guess what? Mine's the Wisconsin Outline 31. The one guy's a trout fisherman. He's got a little trout. AJ Agnes has his number on his. Everybody's tools has ATG Design, those hard stickers you can't freaking wear off on all the batteries, all their tools. So when we're all in a job site, boom, this is yours, boom, this is yours. And it's not some scribble thing you can't read. It's a professional sticker on all my stuff. It's awesome. All on the subscription. I gave Luke the idea. He's boom, done. Had it spit right back to me. All the guys love them. I see that on their phones. They got their own little logo sticker on their phone case. I mean, a lot of the guys that work for us aren't motorcycle guys, so they just can't believe how tough the stickers are. So ATG Design, they can do anything. Luke's got it all. So hit him up. He loves oddball stuff, so hit him up. But we got to talk a little bit, Matt. Can we talk just a tiny bit? USA Motoclimb. Can we just bring the folks into the world of racing on different continents? Is that all right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Right now, the team. Can you? How do we want to announce this? What do we want to do?
I want you to announce the team, but let me announce that our newest member.
Oh.
Since I'm too scattered of a brain and I can't go across seas this summer, and the past couple of years I haven't been able to, but I am honored to work with Joel Falde as a co-team manager.
Ooh.
Who is going to be heading up the efforts and communication and logistics, and keeping vibes at an all-time high, making sure that the best Americans are being represented in the best way. And so it's been awesome to work with Joel the past couple of years on this stuff, and excited to kind of keep it official or make it official. And, this has been almost an annual thing that we've been going over. So stoked to help, be a part of this effort.
Oh, thank you, Matt. And Matt, so honored to be a part of this. And I still pinch myself that you can fly across the ginormous ocean, land in one of the most beautiful places on earth, and there's people just like us that like taking street bike motors, stuffing them in custom frames, making some crazy ass wheel that looks like it's gonna rip people in half and climb mountains. I mean, that's epic. When you can find that society in two spots on the planet, I want to be a part of it. And thanks to you, Matt. Thanks to you, Austin, Tyler, for drumming up these relationships with the LeBrest family. Logan, you've been lucky enough to race a couple different of them now in this modern generation. And Matt, I just want to help. I want to help keep this going. I want to have more opportunities for more people. And thank you for everything that you've done to get us to this point. And I hope to keep pushing the ball and go a little bit higher. That's awesome.
No, I appreciate you stepping up and wanting to be a part of it. And not only as a leader of this, but you're also a racer. And I expect you to be bringing your gear and racing as well, because last time you went there, you did pretty well. And so I would love to see you back on that hill. And also maybe in the future, you'd be flying south to Brazil. And maybe
man,
those guys are on a different level, because they are building some machines down there that are exciting, and the sport's growing fast. They have a 3-round Motoclimb series right now,
nice.
and they are building custom mod bikes and open bikes right now, and they have some big heavy hitter athletes coming to race their event. We're going to try to send a few Americans down, probably for the October event. We couldn't squeeze the May event, but maybe the October event.
Oh, amazing! Oh, how cool that it's growing, Matt. Look at what you're a part of, and look at what Brazil, France, Carnegie, all over North America. This is epic. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's been really exciting to see it prosper. People want to be a part of it. The Brazilians, they actually have this new hill. When you lay eyes on it, it is gorgeous hill. It's kind of looks like Carnegie, and
wow.
it's a very special hill, and they have their official federation of motorcycles, or like the AMA down there. They made
Okay.
Motoclimb an official discipline. So
Nice.
it's officially sanctioned by their Brazilian motorcycle sanctioning body, and
As it should
like
be.
yep. And with France, it's just such a legendary place to be a part of, and the clubs are been great to work with, and exciting to see our guys get to experience that.
Yeah, no, it's cool. And I want to say that there's a common denominator to the team that USA Motoclimb is taking over to France. These guys are all champions in the Motoclimb Super Series. And, you know, I don't think that it's ever a guarantee that if you win, and I'm not going to speak for or against anything, I don't think it's a guarantee if you win the Motoclimb Super Series that you get to go out of the country to race, but it sure freaking helps. I mean, it helps put your foot at front of the crowd if you win. So hey, listen up, talented riders. You want to take and race a dirt bike somewhere other than North America? Come race Motoclimb Super Series. Put everybody on the trailer. Put everybody a step below you. Let's see if we can take you somewhere racing. That'd be awesome. But this year, can I announce, Matt? Can I say it? Can we get down to it?
Go for it.
3 racers are going from North America or from United States, going to LeBrest, France to try to win. Is it the Granite? Is that what they call it? What do they call the Rock? What do they call it, Logan?
Whatever it is, something like that.
The Granite. I think it's the Granite. Whatever. A big freaking
Caillou.
rock.
Caillou, yeah.
Caillou. All right. 3 racers are going this year. Last year's champion, Tristan Alexander, leading the team. Next up, the old 895, Logan Cipala, going to France. And back, John Wolfson going to LeBrest. And man, what a freaking team that is going to be. John, Logan, and Tristan, you want to talk about 3 exciting people to watch race up LeBrest. I am so excited to be a part of this and so excited to see those guys throw a leg over one on LeBrest. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see these guys. 2 of them are returning. John had a standout ride last year, and obviously Logan has finished there second as well. And but Tristan, he's gonna absolutely dig it. He's a motorhead. Him and his dad are motorheads big time. I got to work closely with them, and the best part of that race is walking through the pits. And
Oh,
so
yeah.
that guy is just gonna dig every single thing, and they're gonna learn things because they have things figured out over there that we're 5-10 years behind on. And so
Yeah.
I'm excited that Tristan's gonna experience it. He's been riding really well.
Yeah.
He's been dedicating himself to chasing as many events as possible and making his equipment bigger and better, and become, now he's promoting one of our events, just a true champion. So I'm excited to see these three make their way over to France in the July.
It's gonna be awesome. And talking with John, he rode Nico's bike last year. So awesome that Nico has been so opening to John. And Nico's bike is a freaking beast. That bike is insane. That bike is so well built, so fast. And I know John and Nico are already planning. They've had plans. They've been talking all year. That's so fun to watch that friendship, watch that partnership go. And Nico sustained a very, very scary injury. And I'm so grateful to see him to be able to be mobile, to be able to do some of the things he wants to do and continue to heal, but to be able to live through John and see John use his equipment to the extent that he used it. It's exciting. And I think he's living a little bit through John. And it's so cool that these guys have built this relationship. And it's going to be so fun to see that and see maybe Tristan will develop this relationship just with somebody now when we get back over there. And it's just fun. It's so fun. It's such a family. And the people are just the salt of the earth, the best people in France. I absolutely love all of them. And it's so fun to be a part of that family. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see this thing grow. And Joel, I can't thank you enough for kind of taking this on. And I tell Bree, like, when baby Milo's at an age where we want to travel internationally, I can't wait to go and kind of just watch and be a part of it. And because going to that part of France is so beautiful, and the surrounding area and Switzerland, and it's like you said, they're family, and it's like seeing family all over again. And I can't wait to be back one of these years.
Awesome. I can't wait either. We got a great future ahead of us. We just got to get there, right?
Yes. Big time.
Very cool. So, and then also we're going to be talking in the next few months. We're trying to do a little bit of fundraising to make sure that we can keep this going. The riders are stepping up and helping a lot personally to make sure that they can get there. There's some cost involved, and dang, we got some really good ideas. We're going to try to do a little fundraising to help the riders to get there, to make it easier on them. When we go over there, we're not racing for a purse. We're racing for love, right? I mean, that's what, once you go there, it's not about money. It's about being a part of it. And it'd be really fun. I love wearing my stuff. I mean, who doesn't love wearing their BMC shirts or their Motoclimb stuff, everything, right? So we're going to have some stuff available. We're going to be reaching out through the podcast and on Insta and whatnot in the future. So look for that.
Yeah, and today I made an order of limited run of USA Motoclimb hats and foam trucker hats that will be for sale at Carnegie, and all the proceeds will go to the team's expenses. And so I'm excited to be raffling off 2 Suzukis. I mean, shoot. But but I'm excited to do a fundraiser with you guys and get creative, because Joel, with your brain now focusing on this, I think it's going to get the right amount of attention that it deserves.
Good. And I would love to see last year when Austin made those t-shirts, my girls, that's still their favorite jammy shirt, right? Like everybody who doesn't love wearing their buds shirts. I'd love to see Logan, John, and Tristan all have some personal merch that could directly go to them to help them. We're going to try to facilitate some of that as well. All of it's in the works. It's March right now. We're just starting to get some Bluebird days here. We're going to all make it happen, but just so freaking jacked for the summer. It's going to be epic.
Yeah, it's going to be really good.
Now that we got that out of the way, here we go. So we've been talking. We've wanted to have this debate, and this is a hot topic in our world. It's extended 450s versus stock wheelbase 450s. For me, this is a little hard, because the last thing I want to do, Matt, is I don't want to change your mind, right? But I think I just want to make you aware of some things that I believe maybe in the thought process that I've heard other people explain why it's a good idea. Well, I think that might be where some of the missteps are. All right.
Mhm.
So, and I'm not the end all, and you're not the end all. We're just a couple of guys doing this. But what I think would be kind of fun is for Logan to call me out as wrong every time he sees the opportunity. Okay.
Can you do the same with me, Logan?
I'm gonna be the mediator because I'm the most in the middle of this topic. So I want to make sure there's no personal blows. Everyone's fighting fair. No cheap shots.
Hey, I just want to claim victory that I have the most commented Hill Climbers Only Facebook post because of this topic. So regardless of what happens tonight, I win that.
All right, you do win that.
And I'm fighting with one arm behind my back because I don't have the Facebook, so I don't have all those comments to fuel me. So this is just going off my own experiences.
You just saved yourself a bunch of time.
So
And you saved yourself from losing IQ points.
yeah, that's true. So let me just start off as, and we'll try not to roll around a circle, but we'll end up rolling around a circle. But I believe, and this is what I believe, is that your intentions for the stock wheelbase bike are to, number one, save cost to the rider. Number two, get industry support by offering a tool or a item that they sell off the shelf or whatnot, right? And then three, to allow more riders to enter the sport easily. Would that be like kind of the three main bullet points?
Yeah, those are three really main bullet points for sure.
So I think that they're very well thought out reasons to change something, right? Like I think that's a really good idea to change it. The one thing that kind of has stood me like right from the start was the cost aspect, right? And I know I can't disagree with you about what you're saying, that people spend X amount of dollars, a lot, on their 450, and you would rather have them spend that on an open bike. Matt, I don't disagree with you. I don't, right? I don't disagree with you. But the part that I disagree with is that spending a lot of money on that 450 is a waste of money, or that it's not, you don't get it back. And here's where I just wanted to kind of inform, or what my, and that, because I do it doesn't make it right. And I'm not Team Peterson, I'm Team Falde, right? There's two different things. But like, let's say I had that 2013 450 that I bought brand new, 0 hours, took it to Kirk. I think I spent, just under 10 grand for the 450 in 2013. I took it to Kirk, and we didn't do it all at once, but over the next, 3 seasons, I probably put another 10 grand into that bike, right? So we're 20 grand in, and in 3 years. I rode that bike until it was almost 9 complete race seasons that I rode that bike, and I sold it for $5,000, right? So my net loss was $15,000 over 9 seasons. That's pretty freaking cheap racing. I mean, you can't go spend that money. And I'm not saying that on the 9th season that was an ultra competitive bike, right? But it was still a very good bike, right? Like it was still, the last season that I rode that bike, I was top 10ing as a senior rider. I was riding against light people. I just don't think that it's not extremely expensive when you look at the time frame that we ride these bikes, right?
No, you're right. And I've never said the 450 extended class was a waste of money, like flat out.
No,
compared to the alternative of having stock. Also, how 450 extended is so close to 700 class rules. They're fairly identical. It's a redundant cost, and so it's almost the same thing as the 700 bikes. You're building 2 of them. The 450s that you see a lot of guys investing in them, they don't build a new one. Most people don't build a new built one for 5 to 10 years, which any dealer or OEM that is supporting racing wants racers to buy a new bike every 1 to 3 years, just to kind of keep things fresh. If a KTM rep came up and saw, half the 450 class at Carnegie is on 2017s or 2019s, nothing impressive there because they want to see people with new bikes, and that pushes contingency and support down the line. But the 450 class being extended isn't, like you said, you got your money's worth out of that bike. You had a
Yeah.
hell of a lot of fun. You probably made some purse money, so nothing to bag on that. And truthfully, it's a great entry level to get extensions onto that. But and people are going to still spend money on the stock class, like on their stock motor. Like guys are running race engines in their stock bikes, and so it's not going to necessarily be cheap either. But it's an alternative, and uh, it keeps people motivated to be on more fresh machines and make the sport look up to date.
Yeah, and I think that that's good. So then here's where I'm going to get myself in trouble because I'll probably just Logan will come in and check me out. But uh in the whole getting people to enter the sport, right? Like to enter in the 450 class, like we have amateur series to get your local entry in. We have amateur climbs now, thanks to you, and you can see how successful it is with District 36. We have amateur series to get people in. In the Midwest, we have amateur climbs to get people into the sport where they're not asked to run. There's rules in place to try to get them to not spend money, but they spend more money anyways because that's
Yeah.
the more rules there are, the more expensive it is, right? So but that's where I don't think that it's interest to me to attract new people into professional racing when we have an amateur series that's set up to allow easy entry in, right? Now, I know you're not trying to attract people that are just learning. You're trying to attract people that are extremely talented, right? It's the Ryan Sipes, the people we talked about earlier, or Cody that's coming to Carnegie. That's where you're trying to attract.
It's
And I
even the
just
Jake Vanstedts or the Ryan Ross, Ryan and Jake Rosses, those
right,
names too.
yeah, and that's where I've been thinking and thinking, and I just don't have the answer to what I think in the 450 class could solve that. But I do think in the open knobby class, you have solved some of that by allowing people to bike share, kind of, right? In that class. And that's the sampler to get somebody in. And that's what we want them on anyways. I don't care if those guys ride 450 because they're not exciting. For me, I would rather get rid of the 450 class altogether and not even have it if we're worried about them competing with the 700 class. And I would just rather have unicorn fire breathing dragons in every class that the crowd sees. But when I say that, I want to be honest. What I want is a 4-hour, 5-hour show, very limited. It's a spectacle. That's what I want. But the problem is the promoters don't make money unless they have a crowd, right? Is that kind of like part of the issue with that argument there?
I think each race is different. In the East Coast, super good turnouts. There's thousands of people that show up to those legacy races, and they base their revenue off a crowd. On the West Coast, it's mainly basing off of rider entries, and so it kind of depends where we kind of base our region from, or this topic based on where they are being held. But when it comes to bringing in other talent, Brandon Ray, for example, who's qualifying for Supercross mains, can show up to Carnegie on his Supercross bike and end up on the top 3 in the pro stock Verticross, and that's pretty awesome. I know it's not really great news for a lot of guys who have invested a lot into the sport and travel and chase points and everything, but that's also going to help grow the sport, and it's also going to help drive new partnerships and new sponsorships and new eyes to the sport. And if we don't have the highest level of competition available, then it's not as why are we even doing it? We want to see the absolute best athletes compete, and so the pro stock class is kind of the great equalizer because it's a tough class to be good at on a tough hill. So it really challenges everybody equally.
This is where my first point comes in, and what I've been planning to ask. So we're seeing growth in the 450 stock and getting new and different guys here and there at some of your races, but unfortunately, we aren't seeing overall growth in the series.
Mhm.
And we obviously can't blame that totally on pro stock being, or I guess 450s being stock or extended. But what would be a rebuttal to that? Like obviously the Carnegie race is exploding and you're having huge entries, but we go to Brick Mine or Bay City and the entries are lower. I guess and Bay City you can't totally blame it all on that just because it was a weird weekend and we kind of knew we were going into it. We were taking a little bit of a risk. But even with Brick Mine, their entries have been kind of stagnant or maybe slowly
Mhm.
decreasing over the past few years too.
Yeah, and to your point, BMC at the Great American saw a record number of entries in the extended 450 class. So
Yep.
like what that furthers the argument for pro stock class. I think when you get to that level of professionalism that like let's say Brandon Ray's at, you're gonna need sponsors to back that effort to chase a championship. You know, it takes a different level of support. He's not invested in the sport like most
Mhm.
guys are that chase the championships. And so I think it's, you know, we find success each year in different ways, and it's
Yep.
just keeping at it is just going to be the trend and the overall growth pattern, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's probably my answer to that. It's not like the best answer. Last
Mhm.
year, even hard and grow entries are down, and this year entries are way up. And so,
Really?
yeah, they were down from the
Oh,
previous year.
that's
So,
interesting.
it's just there's really no single answer to why,
Yeah.
but I totally understand like the BMC getting record number of 450 extended bikes. That's awesome for the sport,
Yep.
and I think Goon Climbers is a big part of that. They inspired a lot of guys to be throwing sticks on their bikes, but at the same time, the Great American shouldn't have 120 rides up that 240 rides in that 450 class,
Mhm.
especially when three are making it over.
Yep.
So there's a
Yep.
lot of guys in that class that shouldn't be racing that pro class, and they want to hit the hill, and they're totally allowed to. But
Mhm.
for the best show possible, that's not it. And
No.
just going to stock class for the Rockwell series was kind of ruffled a lot of feathers because a lot of those guys don't know how to ride their bike stock the same
Right.
way as they do extended.
Okay, this is a point that I have, or not a point, but the stock wheelbase bikes. When Justin Hill came to Bay City, and before this was the thing, he rode his stock bike against the extended bikes, right?
Yeah.
I don't have the information, but he qualified very well,
I
right?
think he got second. Yeah.
Yeah.
Second.
It was freaking incredible watching him do it, right?
Until Henry Kelly lined up to him.
But what my point is he's one of the most talented people to ever throw a leg over a motorcycle, right?
Yeah.
Like there's not many Justin Hills. If there's a way where and on one of our Motoclimb Super Series events where we could only see the top 4 or 6 athletes that are there that day ride a stock bike, I think it would be far more exciting. I think there is a long island between exciting rides watching the stock bikes during the pro stock event and the people that we want to attract by offering that, they don't care about points anyways. And that pro stock class is everything for the championship for the overall. You have to do very well throughout to win the championship. And I don't know the exact way of how we could do it, but let's say, you know, Brand is it Brandon Ray or whatever, contacts you and says, I want to be part of it. You can be like, you are our sponsor exemption in the Hell Challenge. There's a guaranteed purse from the 450 class of this for that challenge. Whatever professionally ranked riders we can get to be a part of it, you're going to go up against the top 4 of the day, and it's stock bikes or something. You know, I'm just spitballing here. Something like that where that allows them to come, but we could care less about them riding 450s. We want them on open bikes. That's what's exciting,
Yeah.
right? So I'm just trying to think of a way, you know.
I think that it goes against the whole movement because, like, let me be clear. Me wanting to bring in outside talent isn't to beat our guys who are racing the championship stuff. I want to see them compete against the guys who are racing the championship, because when Brandon Ray lines up to a Joseph Allnut or to a Logan Cipala and gets beat by one of those guys, it's like, who's this guy who beats a Supercross main guy? So it levels up also the guys who do invest a lot and chase the championship, because it puts them on a level playing field. And I've seen it many times where there's upsets, and it draws the respect for our guys who are more invested in the sport gets leveled up. And so Big Hill Jam was kind of a crazy example of that. I mean, that was a pretty tough field, pretty stacked field, but there was definitely some upsets in that, and we've seen it at Carnegie and other events where it's pretty awesome when a hill climber that nobody has heard of in the mainstream ends up winning, a verticross race. And that, I think, is what we want too, is because more eyes are on that rider.
Yeah. I guess at certain points, you and I are going to have to agree to disagree, Matt. And I love you.
No, that's okay. I'm
the other little thing.
go for it.
The other thing that I just want to bring up, that this is like an annoyance to me because it affects me. So, can't help it but affect me. But, one of the things that I've always loved about dirt bikes is when you look at like Supercross and look at the gait, you don't have to be an exact body type to dominate, some people are 6'2", some people are 5'2", like they're all on that gate, right? The pro stock class, if you're really heavy or you're really tall, you're at a ginormous disadvantage. I don't want to speak, and here's where he can hit the horn, but Logan's tall. He has a hell of a time, and you watch him struggle on the bike, or just that same thing on the Buell. Maybe that leverage helps him, but in a stock bike, you can just tell it hurts him, where if you're 5'5" and 110 pounds, it's a lot easier to ride that bike. It's just so much. You can just watch the guys not have to work as hard on those bikes to get the same results. And it just annoys me that now we're giving an advantage to body type, And
I see it with all disciplines. I mean, Supercross, the 6 foot Benny Bloss is not at an advantage being so tall, or Benny Bloss, or I don't know his last name, but and Ricky being so short, he had to work extra hard to. So there's like a good mid range height for Supercross. In Hardenduro, Cody Webb being 6'4" is way better than Danny Lewis, who's 5'9", and that's a straight up, physical advantage in Hardenduro. So, with this, yes, it does give an advantage for weight and height, I'm sure, but that's not what the intention is. Our goal is to pull a bike off the showroom floor,
right,
bring it onto the race course, and see who is the fastest person up the hill on that bike.
Yep. So then this is just my other, and Matt, I'm uncomfortable. I'm like itching right now because I don't like this. I don't, but I have to bring up.
No, it's all good. This is good discourse. Yeah. It's very healthy, and I think people need to hear it because it comes off as abrasive sometimes. I actually think Don Earhart's memo is very, very professional, and he laid out all the points very well. But people are hard. They have a hard time listening to it because it's so obscure. But 80 years ago, 70 years ago, the sport, this was normal. Whatever bike was on the showroom floor, they raced it. So we're just going back to old school.
Yeah. And that's where I want to try to be objective. And, like I've said it, like I don't love I support it. Like I don't love it, but I support it because I love the community. It's like, it's one little thing. That's where I just like, I think in today's age, like everybody has to have a side, and like, you can't just, I hate how divisive everything is. It's like, I don't care if we run the open bike stock, I'm going to figure it out. It's like, I love it, but it's like, I just want to bring up these points just so maybe people can hear them. And I have similar feelings, and you're very well spoken and can help explain. Right. So that's what the purpose, but all right. Okay. Back to it. So when you were talking, or we talked about bringing industry support to the sport and offering like a tool that they sell off the shelf, like to me, and I don't have the experience that you do, but I think that's a lost cause. Like I would be more excited about, uh, um, Harbor Freight Tools sponsoring a race than I would KTM, right? Because I just think that um, KTM, you listen to Pulp and everything else, and at Supercross level, they can't get what they want. They're constantly at odds. They cannot get
Mhm.
enough money. They can't get enough help. It's just everybody, and that's the absolute top of our sport, which will never be. Where I feel like the spectacle that we are, um, we just it feels like a waste of time to even bother them, and we're better to just go and try to provide this great live show and try to sell it to smaller non racing industries of the user. I'm not a salesman, but like I love that you had Liquid Death. That was epic when you had those guys out at Carnegie. That's perfect. Who hasn't bought a box of those or bought them at Quick Trip or whatever? I mean, I love seeing that. Like, I think that that's so cool getting people like that involved. And all it takes is for one successful person to really fall in love with Motoclimb Super Series, and we're set, right? Because if we can get one person where they have tons of money and think it's cool and want to be involved, if we get really big purses, we get really big talent. That's undeniable. That
Mhm.
like that they will follow the purse money if we get it.
Yeah.
So that's where I just feel like so many sports you can't go buy the car that John Force drives on NHRA. You can't go
Mhm.
buy the car that they drive in NASCAR or F1 or all these things. Like that's there's still industry support from Ford, Chevy, whatever, but it's not in a tool that they sell. It's just the name recognition in their instance. So that's where I feel like I don't want to put so much energy trying to go after the industry people when I just don't think they're going to give us what we want anyways. I guess that's where my
Yeah, no,
concern.
I think that's a good argument, and obviously I disagree with that, but I
Yeah.
totally see your reasoning behind it. The way I look at it is the sport isn't even at its foundation when it comes to like the industry. In my opinion, the OEMs are the basis of the industry, and from there you have distributors and dealers and aftermarket brands that help trickle down, and they're all throwing support at different things. If the OEMs aren't supporting something, there's not much legitimacy towards that thing. So getting a motion pro involved, is a little bit harder for this sport, maybe. But if it was a KTM contingency approved series, and maybe they sent an athlete or two to it once in a while, then it brings legitimacy and it brings trust that this discipline and this series is willing to uh, be legitimate. And that's one of the reasons we went to AMA, is because we wanted to be in the good graces of the industry and have legitimacy when it comes to sanctioning and insurance. But when it comes to aftermarket brands, contingency and OEMs are kind of the basis. And then dealers are a direct reflection of the OEMs. If we're not getting dealer support, then as an industry or as a series, um, then what's the point of even trying to do all this in a way? I think there's totally an argument for getting after sponsors to be there for the live show, non-industry sponsors, and try to attract things for the live show, for the spectacle itself. But for the racing side, I think that I truly believe the sport has so much to offer for the OEMs. I don't think it's just like, oh, what can we get from the OEMs? I think we can give something back to the OEMs when it comes to suspension development, comes to motor development, it comes to tire development, geometry development, and just how they use NHRA and NASCAR and these bigger, higher ranks. The OEMs use those like very obscure forms of racing for development and R&D. I truly believe Motoclimb could act as that in years to come. but we don't even have our baseline of having OEM support. We don't even have contingency. So I truly believe that once we get in the good graces of these OEMs and become a contingency partner of all of them, which is not easy. I can't even get full on contingency for hard enduro. Kawasaki rejected us. Honda rejected us. So it's very difficult. KTM did have us online for a couple years, and then there's just not enough new bikes to be even going through the system. So it's not even worth them uploading results to for their system. They kind of did it as a favor. But if we have more and more new bikes and we show that this stock thing is going, I've talked to the KTM off-road manager about it. He said, we love the stock thing. We want to see stock bikes because that's what we sell. 300s and 350s are our two best selling bikes. We want to see them in competition. I've talked to one of the Hill brothers was telling me that they were on the fence about a Kawasaki deal or on a big deal with Kawasaki. This is years back, but they said they wanted to do hill climbs, and that just really kind of turned them off, and they didn't want to touch something that was so obscure. But we want to be inviting to the OEMs, and we want to say, hey, don't worry, your stock bike is going to be able to compete with us. And if allowed, we'll throw them on a legitimate open bike, something that has matching plastics, which is difficult for some to do. But, and then also something that's a little bit updated and runs well. So I really think that there's a deeply embedded problem. The extended 450 class hasn't really helped grow. I mean, and maybe it's nothing that the sport has just, maybe it hasn't gotten to that point yet with extended 450, but in the past 15 years or so that the extended 450 class, 20 years has been around, there hasn't been a ton of involvement from the OEMs on a whole level. There might be sprinkles from teams here and there, but I mean, Suzuki was giving bikes away to Naha in 2006 and 7 and 8. But why are they not involved anymore? And I'm not saying it's extended 450s, but extended 450s kind of, in my opinion, have flatlined things when it comes to the outsourcing or outside involvement. And I think it's time for a change to try something new. It might not be the solution, but when I talk to high level people in the industry or high level riders in the industry, they think the stock is a great way to go.
Right. So thank you for that lengthy explanation, because I don't have the meetings you have. I'm not involved in the promoter aspect of what we do. So I mean that helps me understand motivation as to what you're doing. Okay. But it still doesn't man, I just, when it comes to the stock bikes, like, and obviously I'm the old guy, right? Everybody knows old 31 when I walk around the pits or whatever. So who comes talks to me? The other old guys, right? So it's like that. I'm not getting the opinions of the 18 to 24-year-old riders that are riding, but for the most part, people don't have as much fun riding the stock bikes. And obviously it's new, so it's not something that you have any nostalgia to. It's not new to, I understand, like maybe the Carnegie way of life, because so much of their riding that I've noticed, free riding, is stock. But even like in Billings, that was what was cool when I went out there, is they like free ride their extended bikes. I just thought that was epic.
Yeah, I do too.
I've had several people come to me and be like, man, I just don't have as much fun with the stock bike as I do the extended bike. And, what I tried to ascertain it too is, like, in hard enduro, if you took and made it where they had to run beadlock tires that came on the bike that weren't gummy, they're still going to do the things they do. They're not going to do it as easy. It's going to save them tens of thousands of dollars every year, but they're not going to be able to ride at the extent that they were before. Right. And that's where I think that it's hard for hill climbers when you have extended 450s that help you do exactly what you want to do to the hill. Right. You can go fast, pull back, stay in it, or whatever. It's a completely different form of racing stock. It's something that's so foreign, especially to me and a lot of other people, that it's really hard to jump on board with. But like with your explanation about the industries and getting industry support, I understand it, but I don't feel like we've got the exact solution quite yet. Feels like there's something in between where we were and
Yeah.
where we are that could help us,
No, I agree. It's ever since the beginning, ever since actually 11 years ago when I said, hey, let's call this thing Motoclimb. Let's get it online. Let's start pushing it. This is not going to happen overnight. And 10, 11 years now of doing that, it's not still like the mainstream way of doing it, but I think it's a good way to brand the sport and isolate the athletes. And it didn't happen overnight. It took time. But when you chat GPT hill climbing and chat GPT motoclimb,
Yeah.
motoclimb comes out as dirt bikes up a hill, where
Yeah.
hill climb comes out as
Pikes Peak.
Pikes Peak. And so that's straight up search engine optimization, and we did our job for that motoclimb. So that took time. That being said, this pro stock thing, I knew it was going to take time. It was going to take years for people to get used to. It was going to upset a lot of people, but it also, if you look at the crowds, it kind of brings an old school feeling to the sport. Not everyone makes the hill, and we try not to make it boring. So it's very hard to pick a pro stock hill that's not boring. And but when you have a pro stock hill that's exciting, not everyone makes the hill. To make that hill is definitely like a badge of honor almost. And then when you get to the verticross, it's a lot more competitive for some reason. And don't get me wrong, riding an extended pumped up 450 wide open up a hill is a blast. And I don't want to take that away from anyone. That's why we have open knobby. I guess you can't run a paddle on those, but open bikes are better. So if you're going to run a mod bike, run the freaking open bike. Let's build multiple open bikes. Let's put our money into better and newer updated open bikes. That's where the bread and butter is. Let's have our other class be the class that potentially could get OEM support, potentially bring in outside riders. And from the fans' perspective, it's been super exciting. Like the crowd flocks to it, and it allows us to do the enduro cross courses and bring in some new names. And so we've actually had a really positive crowd response doing pro stock. And when guys like Petey Krunich brings his 300-400 hour KTM 250 and it gets a 60-second run up a hill, it gets on the podium. It gets the crowd going. And seeing 450 extended bikes all day long just becomes a bore. I'm sorry. I've been to a few Great Americans, and it's just like, oh, there's another one. Oh, there's another one. And then 700 class, same thing. So you have, many runs, almost 500 runs of the same bike going up. And stock is going to be really exciting to shake it up and see who really rises to the top with it.
Yeah, like I said, I feel like the answer's still out there. And I, like we talked before this in the first segment, like I love that with the series, the Motoclimb Super Series, take chances. Try to push the sport forward any way possible. Try to expand upon what 100 years hasn't already got us, right? It's like try to get it out there. But man, I can't get 100% on board that the stock is going to be what does it. But I mean, I've been wrong before, Matt. I've been divorced. I've been married before. I've been wrong. It happens. But I think that this helps me and other people that are in question understand like the basis of why this class became a thing in our sport and the reasons for it, that to keep it around, right? I mean, that's what I wanted to have this discussion with you. And I think that when it was just Motoclimb Super Series that had the stock class, like I was like all for it because I thought it made it very unique, right? Like I like that. And with Rockwell, and I know that you're not involved with Rockwell. That's just another series or whatnot. But I thought when Rockwell did it, I was like, I don't know. I just that just didn't seem like that shoe fit. Like I think that I'm a little torn on like there's no bigger base in our sport than the Rockwell Motoclimb or Rockwell series and the Great American. And if anything, we need to cut riders than to add riders And even in their descriptions, when they sent the email, they were talking about this is going to be a way for new people to enter the sport. And then the next line item was, we might have to cut entries if too many people come. It's
Yeah.
like they have problems that others could only dream of in Billings, right? Like,
Mhm.
and I was like, why upset that apple cart? And I'm with you. When I'm at the Great American, it's the most boring thing ever to sit there and watch. One of the funnest things to ride, but extremely boring to watch, right?
The most boring race all year.
Yeah, it's pulling fingernails. But when you get to the night and it's the championship runoff or the side by side to the end, it's super exciting. And I feel like they've done well to advertise that is their main event, right? At the end. And you got to get through all this other stuff. So it is what it is. But that's where I was just a little torn. I kind of like that the pro stock class was just Motoclimb Super Series. And we'll see what happens with Rockwell. Like I said, I've been wrong before. Maybe it'll be the best thing that's ever happened to that series. But I'm nervous, because I don't want to lose that core.
I don't either. And these changes, I'm very sensitive to that because I don't want to lose a core. And I've had many, disagreements with people back home, back and forth about, what we're doing. But, with Rockwell having the 700 class, it kind of fills that void. Most guys have a 450 extended bike or a 700 bike, and they can race that. Maybe a 450 extended bike is going to go for sale, or they're just going to take the sticks off and race pro stock. And from a spectator viewpoint, from somebody new to the sport, it creates a definite separation between the three classes. You have a bike that looks like something you at the showroom floor. You have a bike that looks like that bike, but with some mods on it, and it sounds different. It looks different with a longer swing arm. Then you have the obscure open class. And so, and the best class of all, 40 plus, which should be open class in all places, as it is at Carnegie. Right. But I think that really helps the spectator experience because they get to see a separation, and they're going to definitely match the hill to the class. And so they don't want the pro stock hill necessarily to be nobody makes it. They're going to find a new hill or put in a new hill, new lines. And I'm excited to hear because I've heard the plans of what they're going to do with that to make it competitive. And you don't win the pro stock hill by accident. And I'm not saying that the 450 extended class, you don't win it by accident either. It's very talented competitive class. Like Columbus 450 night show is super exciting. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a really fun night show, but there's 32 of them and it's a 1 hour show. Right. Mm-hmm. But pro stock definitely still has its own excitement factor, and I don't think they're trying to open the door to more numbers necessarily. They're trying to open the door to the more the Cameron Horners or the Tristan Alexander friends of his, Braxton Hinsey's, those guys who are going to try the Great American, who he won a class last year. He's now going to bring his hard enduro bike and try to win the stock class. Right. So it's going to be an interesting shift, but I say, why not try? Like, we have something good from a community standpoint, I think, but it's from an industry standpoint. Why not try? Because the sport isn't sustaining. I want to see these. I want to see these guys get salaries. I want to see Cipala, Anstedt, Austin, Wolfson. I want to see them make salaries because of racing. And I think it pisses me off that they don't get salaries. And this is why exactly I got into the sport in 2015 with a video camera in my hand and Big Nasty. 2016, I was just like, these guys deserve more. Why aren't they getting paid? Why isn't this their full-time gig? They're so talented. And it's been proven year after year that we bring in outside names and they're just shocked that how the talent that is existing in this sport. But Logan's working 40 plus hours a week. Austin's, doing construction. Everyone's making it work, but it's still a hobby sport. Yeah. So what steps can we take to make this more than a hobby sport? In hard enduro, it's a hobby sport for 98% of the people, but there's a few people that get to ride for a living. Right. And it'd be really cool to see that happen in Motoclimb within our lifetime. And I don't think the 450 extended class is going to provide that answer. So, yeah, maybe that vision doesn't align with everybody, but these guys are too talented in motoclimb to not get paid by bigger sponsors and not get picked up by teams.
Right. Yeah, it's it's exposure. How can we have the best exposure? The other thing too is to find our core audience, right? Because I feel like that also, from when I was little and growing up, it was all about road bikes. Like that was the core of the cheering section was the road bikes. And I feel like that's coming back to a certain degree because I think there's a lot more people doing it, but now I don't know. There's a recipe out there somewhere, Matt. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna put the right ingredients together to get it. But I feel like bringing up the professionalism that has happened in the last 15 years in the sport, that was step one, and I feel like we've really got there. Like the professionalism of the pits, the bikes, the equipment. A lot thanks to you, Colby, other people harping out to let's have great looking stuff. People heard, they listened. Like we've been listening. Look at how great everybody's equipment looks now, and I mean, it's
people want to level up, and Joseph providing the canopies, and the Petersons with their event and their marketing. Everybody wants to level up because the next guy is leveling up.
Right.
And my goal is that could be done with salaries and guys getting team, team deals. I think that would be a motivating factor if Logan's like, hey, I don't need to work full time anymore because this team picked me up. Right. Champion Brick. Matt
Adams. Logan.
Day late and $1 short now.
Logan, did I miss anything on the stock versus extended, either one side or the other? A glaring topic that I missed?
No, I think we're pretty much covered it all. I guess I don't have a whole lot to add other than that it's a slightly less fun. There's things that I agree with and don't agree with, and what I do fear is changing so much of the sport that we kind of not destroy, but move the core away and change it from what it started out as is a little bit hard for me to adjust to, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. It doesn't frustrate me or upset me or anything, but it's definitely different, and we're veering away from what it is, which is trying to get up this hill on a certain size bike as fast as you can. And when you rip the extensions off the bike, you change that, even though the playing field is still level. But if you change soccer so much that it turns into basketball, then it's not soccer anymore. And I know that's an exaggeration from what we're actually doing, but
I think that my one response to that would be all things lead to open bikes. And exactly. How can the OEMs and these bigger athletes get involved to where their eyes are opened up by the open bikes? And when I remember in 2022 when we had the Bent Night Brawl and South Hills Showdown in Montana, my good friend who was the Husky team manager was just phone out, eyes wide open. This is the coolest thing ever. Yep. I can't believe these bikes. And he went back to KTM and said good things. And we did end up getting contingency that year after, but not saying that's why, but it definitely aligns well. And we'll have another one of those events in September 19th. And, we could have potentially factory riders showing up to BMC again. Right. And so we don't want to rip away the DNA. We want to add to it by getting the open bikes more recognition and respect for what they deserve. So stock class is just a gateway drug, in my opinion. It's a different gateway drug than extended 450, and we'll see if it works or not.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Okay. I feel like I got to say my piece, and thank you for being such a good sport, Matt. And I didn't want it to be like me shooting bullets over your bow the whole time or whatnot. But I think what's awesome about podcasting is there's someone driving home from work listening to the podcast, and hopefully one side or the other on this conversation, they had a part, and maybe they heard something that they hadn't thought of, and it will either reaffirm what they already thought or maybe make them understand that there was a reason for it. And that's what we want, because what makes me nervous too is I don't want to have this divisive life in racing. Like, I want us still to be all pushing in the same direction, And I hate like when there's these topics that people try to divide, and it's like, no, we're not. We're still all pushing the same way. It's just this little veer one way or another, and that's where we can talk. Neither one of us ever raised our voice. We might disagree. That's fine. That's how that's how life is, right? Like, you don't have to be upset about that with other people. You don't. I love everything that you do and have done, and appreciate the hell out of it. And I think that's where it's important to have these conversations, and as adults should, right? Or maybe we both learn something at the end. That's what it's about, right?
Yeah, my intentions with pushing these changes are purely to help the sport, and this is from my perspective, and I could be wrong. I'm wrong in a lot of things, but I wouldn't. I have no. I'm not racing. I have no team to fight for. I have no advantages for this. This is purely to help the future of the sport in a different way that wasn't being done for 20 years. And so I think it's a good shot. It's kind of crazy that the Rockwell has done this change, and I think it's going to just normalize it even more. And I hope that there's advantages to it, because everybody wants to see this succeed, no matter which direction we take it. And so let's say, the other series that succeed and get a ton of support, and the OEMs are jumping all over extended 450s. Maybe that's the ticket. Maybe it's just a timing thing. But I don't think anybody should be wishing the pro stock experiment to be not successsuccessful, because we all want it to be successful,
right? Yes,
and we all want to see success, and I want to see these guys get paid. That's what it comes down to. And Riley Bender with Yamaha, the Hard Enduro series, he'll get 10th place and a few $100 from Yamaha because of contingency for 10th place, right? And that's a low level contingency series for Yamaha. So I think KTM, you got KTM payments a few years back, right?
Yeah. It ended up being quite a bit. It was maybe $600 or $700 or something total for the season, and I only raced half the season.
Yeah, so that's just a sliver. That was being the lowest level series in the contingency bracket, and so they support, I think, over 150 series. And so I'd like to get back on there. KTM's back on their feet from their funky stuff last year. They're supporting Hard Enduro more. Their bike sales are up, and so like everything's looking pretty good. And I think for 27 we might be in a good position to throw contingency back at it, and hopefully they can respond well. So
I think that's what's caught in my chain, is every time I'm supposed to get contingency from them, it seems like I have to beg for it, or it just never shows up. So I didn't get paid for some D23 contingency that year too.
Oh,
really?
Yeah.
The hell.
Last year or a few years ago?
It was that 23 year, I think. I didn't get anything last year either from District 23, but I don't know if I got a podium or not either. I'd have to look into that a little bit more, but I can't remember if I got any podiums in the Harescramble stuff.
Yeah,
but
I mean,
I do know
they
that
sponsor
23
regional.
they owed me some.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they do sponsor the local and regional Harescramble stuff, and so if we could prove our numbers and prove it's successful and an asset to the brand, it'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sick. Well, boys, I don't know. I think we got to scrap Caught in Your Chain this week. I think we're going a little too long. Let's save them up. Matt, you can proxy yours in maybe at a later date, and we'll read it off air. If you want to give us a list, we could do Caught in Your Chain off. Is that fine, Logan? Can we
I'm
table
good with
it?
that.
Okay. Well,
I get to start a Facebook post on Hillclimb.
Yeah, do that instead.
Perfect. Why are we doing paddles on twin bikes?
Oh God! Don't get.
I'm gonna hang up this call.
Don't get him going. That's a dangerous thing you just did.
Now I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight. Are you happy?
Oh man. Well, Matt, dang it. Thank you so much. You're so busy, and it means so much to us that you took time out of your schedule so you could come in, get fired up about the Motoclimb Super Series starting off here in a couple of weeks, and telling us all the good things that are coming. Man, I know it was hard, and I know that you had a lot of support, and thank you for hooking back up with the BMC. That is so awesome. I was so excited when I heard you guys were going back to the BMC. I love that fit there. And man, Hard Enduro has been so fun to watch, Grinding Stone and everything that you got going on there. Your media has just been outstanding. The coverage, it's so fun to feels like you're there. And just everything. We've talked so many times, but everything that you've been involved in, you've tried and put so much passion to make things better. USA Motoclimb, Motoclimb Super Series, all your Hard Enduro endeavors. Thank you. We are in your debt. We love you. We love supporting everything you got going on. And from Find the Line here, just let us know what we can do to help, man. We want to raise your balloon as high as we can. So please always tap on us to promote and help. Okay.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on and putting out a quality podcast and show to keep people updated that touches on a lot of different people and disciplines. And so thank you for everything and continued support. We're just trying to leave things better than what we, came up with them on. So that's our goal, is that whenever the day comes where I exit all this, it's better off. And my ultimate goal is to, one day find the people that could take things over and go race 40 plus classes around the country.
Let's go.
And not have to clean up any flags or anything. Just go home.
I want to be a part of that success story. Let's do it. I love it.
Yeah.
Just a hitch holler and an open bike and you're on your way, right?
I know a lot of people get their riding done earlier in their life. I think most of my riding is going to happen after I'm 40. So
it's a good plan.
That's when I did most of my riding. So I'm right there.
When my kid or kids are going to be at riding age, that's the goal. So
perfect. Awesome. Well, we can't wait. We can't wait for that chapter, man. It's going to be awesome.
Thank you, guys.
All right, for Find the Line, we're racing to Kearney in a couple weeks. Tune in. It's going to be epic. Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Logan. We're out.
Yeah, come on. Mama told me one day I'ma grow up big and I'ma be a king. And my papa told me it's okay to sit where shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, 'cause they'll get you through.